What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode in the Road to Glory Career Mode series. A bit of a shorter one today, but that's because I'm leaving the last few days of the transfer window. Just in case there's any last little bit suggestions, coming in from you guys out there who want to see new signings. The last episode, the major one, was that you guys wanted me to see me signing Ronaldo and Messi's regen. So I took a look at both of them. I couldn't find Messi's. I don't know where he is. I looked in a Liga, of course, because normally when they retire and their regen gets put in the same, league they were playing in, right? But as I was looking at it, I was sat there and I legit couldn't find any in the La Liga Santander. So then I took a look at the position that Messi plays, and these are the only ones that appeared from Argentina as a right winger. So, I mean, you guys have as much of an idea as I do. I don't know which one is the Messi regen. But luckily, I found the Ronaldo one, of course. We already knew about him. I said last season I wanted to sign him, so I was able to find him. It's this man, Da Costa, and I actually had to pay a pretty penny to bring him into crew. But I'm quite happy to do this, and I know this is going to be a bit of a frustrating one for people that wanted me to see me use Irving Lozano, but I had to offer Lozano as part of the deal. The reason for that is because if I'd have brought in Ronaldo's regen while still having Lozano at the club, the chances are he wouldn't be able to get game time. We can't even play Lozano as it is right now, so the likelihood was that if I didn't let Lozano go the other way while we were trying to bring in this guy, then it just wouldn't be a deal which was possible. So I decided that I would, give Lozano to the Levante, and I thought they'd just accept the straight swap. They didn't. They wanted more money, so I was able to do that as well. I gave them £24 million, and in which case, after negotiating the contract, the deal went through, and we did, in fact, have Ronaldo's regen in the club. So he's quite happy with that one. He only wanted about 50k a week, and as I said, the transfer fee wasn't a hefty amount, but it did just mean, of course, that Lozano has now left the club after only joining weeks before that. But don't worry, because there's every chance that Lozano might be appearing in a future series down the line. Watch this space. So that is Ronaldo's regen on your screen right there. 3-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves, can play left wing and striker. He's got decent physicals. He says his finishing's really good as well. It's in the 90s right now in terms of finishing. Composure-wise, though, not the highest in terms of that stat. And you guys know I like a little bit of composure in the strikers. But as I mentioned, because the episode will be shorter, there is still a few more days left in the window. I was going to play 3 games today, but I couldn't do that because I only had 2 between now and the end of the transfer window. So I played those 2. The first one coming up against Norwich here. The second one is against Manchester United. So as I mentioned, if you've got any other players you want to see, potential regens maybe, that you want to see us sign, there's a bunch of players that will have retired in this series. Maybe you want to see some other ones join us here at Crew. Do leave them down below and I'll check them out in a future episode. Well, next episode pretty much. So with that, we're going to go into game 1. Norwich City, our opponents, as you can see right there. And our team is very, very strong. Mbappe, Fratchak, and I do believe it was Pulisic started this one. And, by all accounts, this one should be quite comfortable for us. A lot of attacking threat out there. We should create an abundance of chances. Fratchak with the first one of the game. The pole cutting inside onto the right foot. Trying to find the top corner with a curling effort, but put a little bit too much on it as it hit the crossbar and went over the top. But as I mentioned, there was about to be an abundance of chances for us just simply because we had such a great attack. Mbappe across, Fratchak in. Fratchak scores. Crew 1, Norwich 0 inside the 33rd minute. I mean, it's just going to be so simple for us to score this season. We looked at the team last year and the year before that, and our front three was deadly. How is it possible we've actually made that better? You know what I'm saying? Like, we scored a crazy amount of goals with our front three last season and the season before that I didn't think would get much better. Well, you know what? Mbappe, Pulisic, Fratchak, and this is even going to sound crazier. I'm not sure Pulisic is going to be my main man out on the left-hand side because Griezmann is still there. Calvert-Lewin, who of course has put up a really good fight in recent, seasons. And now Ronaldo's regen. There's so many players that will be fighting for a spot in this team. One of the players who pretty much has it nailed down, though, will be Kylian Mbappe. Assisted the first one and grabbed the second for himself just before the half-time whistle. The cross in from, I think, the wide area from Pulisic in the end. Found its way into the box and a good header from Kylian Mbappe by all accounts, making the score 2-0. So not even at half-time and already things are looking very, very good for this Crew Alexandra side. And if we don't go on to win at least another double with the league and the Champions League, I'll be pretty horrified with myself. I'm not sure how many more seasons we have of this to come, of course, because now I've pretty much achieved everything I wanted to do with Crew. The only thing left is the England, victory we've got to get later on down the line. And then after that, it's all up in the air about what happens. But Mbappe, makes it 3 inside the 52nd minute. There was no changes on at this point. It was the same team that started. But with that goal going in, I decided to swap it about a little bit because of the fact we were winning 3-0. Felt quite comfortable to make a couple of changes. I brought on RONALDO'S regen. Pulisic came off. Made a change in the midfield as well. You'll see those in a moment to come. But that's an incredible finish from the Frenchman. And as you know, he's having a great World Cup so far. Very worrying if you're an England fan who's just got through into the quarterfinals. Because imagine the scenes if we make it through to that final, which I'm not sure is going to actually happen. But of course, you have to keep the faith. I'm confident we might. And then Mbappe meets us in the final. That will be some story. But RONALDO'S regen came on. He had a chance and he failed to take that chance, unfortunately. Smashing his shot wide of the bottom corner. And I've got to give the dues to Norwich. They did create and they did actually score. It was a good effort. But looking at Donnarumma, don't know what on earth he's doing. I think he should save this. You'll see from this angle, it's poor goalkeeping from the Italian. You'd expect better, especially considering the fact that I called him the world's best goalkeeper at one point in this series. That certainly wasn't, world-class goalkeeping by all accounts. The shot's okay, but yeah, the save isn't really what I'd consider a good save from our #1 goalkeeper. So very disappointed to concede, but it is what it is. And we were already leading 3-0 at that point. It was only a consolation. The game ended there, 3-1 win. We absolutely battered them, match facts-wise, creating more opportunities. You know, we did the job at hand, and we could have quite easily scored 4 or 5 there. If you consider the Ronaldo regen chance, Da Costa, he should have scored instead of putting it wide of the post. Of course, Fratchak at the bar early on as well. So all in all, a good day at the office. In terms of the Carabao Cup, though, there was a comment asking us to try and win the quadruple. So I guess that would be the aim for this season, in which case I might have to play games like this when we get further on in the Carabao Cup. I decided to sim this one, though, against Bury, because I felt like my backup team should do enough to win this game. But when it got to the later stages, I was a little bit worried with the score still 0-0. But luckily, Isaac Martin came in clutch with 12 minutes remaining to give us a 1-0 lead over Bury. So as I mentioned, because of that comment asking us to win the quadruple, I will go ahead and try and do it for you guys. But don't be expecting anything. You know, these slider settings, the way they are, it's very tough when you play against teams. You know, it's one of those cases where these smaller sides who may only get one chance in a game, they will possibly take it. So although I want to achieve it, don't be having the expectation, because I'm a mug as well and I'm rubbish at FIFA. But still, we'll go forward, try our best to do it. As I mentioned, my main aim has got to be the league and the Champions League again, as it always has been. And after that, anything else is a bonus. Next up was a very tough trip to Old Trafford, where we would face Manchester United, somewhat my kryptonite of a team when I play FIFA. But things started off very well indeed, with Fratchak inside the earlier parts of the game, giving us the lead. It was a phenomenal cross, actually, from Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side. And then Fratchak had too much time to bring it down. From Man United's defensive standpoint, you know, they would hope that they'd do better in this situation. The cross is good, but nobody's picking up Fratchak because he had enough time to find his volley past the goalkeeper. So very, very poor defending from Manchester United, as we had an early lead in the game, and it's not something you expect from them. They've got a decent side here at Old Trafford, and normally they do pretty well against me. But in the second half, Evans coming forward, found Pulisic in towards Mbappe. He would test the palms of the goalkeeper with a left-footed shot. And I just felt like Mbappe was having a quiet afternoon at Old Trafford. Hadn't really done a lot up until that point. But there was problems mounting for Man United as they gave the ball away in a really dangerous area again as we move it around so quickly. And we should have had a second. Fratchak through one-on-one. This time was met by a good save from the goalkeeper. But the signs were there. Man United certainly needed to step up their game, and step up their game, they didn't really do that because Gaia found Da Costa. He would lay it out wide towards Mbappe. Great turn from Kylian. He then finds the dink over the top. There was Pulisic. Brought it down. Right-footed shot. Crew 2. Man United 0. And Old Trafford was silenced. A really poor performance from the home side, defensively and offensively. Hadn't been able to create a chance, and we were defending very well. It's always nice to have as well your club captain back. I can't stress enough how important Ezri Konsa has been to this Crew Alexandra team. So having him at the back has certainly helped me defensively as well. But with that being said, you know, Man United, they were pretty poor throughout. And this one actually comes from a goal kick here, this chance. Lewis Cook, Mbappe, 1-2 all across the board. Now Da Costa. Da Costa through towards Mbappe again. He gets in a really good area, and you're thinking, square this, son, towards Evans. It's 3-0 Crew Alexandra. Within the space of a few minutes, we'd gone from being on the back foot to creating a chance and scoring. So really, really poor performance. And the one unfortunate thing out of this game was that Fratchak unfortunately had to actually go off injured. So hopefully it won't be a long-term injury to our pole. And if it is, then at least we've got the Costa to come in. You know, we've got a quality on the bench to be able to bring in Calvert-Lewin, you know, Griezmann. So we're not really short in the attacking standpoint. But it would be nice, of course, to have Fratchak in the team. So hopefully he's not out long term. We will find out what that injury is in the next episode. But for now, guys, that is how today's will end. If you did enjoy it, a like would be greatly appreciated. As I said earlier, you know, apologies for it being shorter. But I wanted to leave the last couple of days in the transfer window just to give you guys at least a little bit more time to leave whatever you guys want to suggest for signings, regens, anything of that good nature. Leave it down with the comment below and I might go ahead and try and sign them. We only have about £25 million left, but it is enough to make another deal happen. So as I mentioned, I will try my best to do that for you guys. But still, if you are new around here and like what you see, the subscribe button is down below so you can click that and never miss an upload. Alongside that is a notification bell. It does the same job, pretty much notifies you when an upload goes live. But that's it from me for today. I will see you all again at 4 PM tomorrow. No World Cup for the next couple of days. What are we going to do with ourselves? I do not know. But I'll be back again with a double upload tomorrow. So enjoy that when it comes out, guys. See you all then. Adios.